Morning and welcome to Bangla Shikha Classroom 2024, an endeavor of Paschim Bongo Samagro Shiksha Mission under the Education Department, West Bengal. I am Gargi Mukherjee, Headmistress of Balia Naforchand Balika Vidyalaya, and today we are here to discuss a poem from class 9, subject English, and the lesson is 6. Now we will turn to page number 45 of your textbook Bliss to discuss or read about today's lesson, Mile the Mist Upon the Hill, written by the poet Emily Bronte. So, we will know a bit of something about the poet before we go to the poem. You can see on the screen something about Emily Bronte, and also if you turn to page number 45 of your book, you will see that there is a paragraph given on the poet. Emily Jane Bronte was a member of the famous Bronte family. She was the second youngest of the 5 famous Bronte sisters, and she had a very literary life. She wrote almost 200 poems in her lifetime, but only one novel, Wuthering Heights, was written by her, which is considered to be a classic of English literature. Her life was very short, but it was very colorful. Before we start the explanation, we will read the poem and then we will go by the line-to-line discussion of the whole poem. You are all required to listen to the pronunciation and pay attention to the diction. Mile the mist upon the hill, telling not of storms tomorrow. No, the day has wept it fill, spent its store of silent sorrow. Oh, I'm gone back to the days of youth. I'm a child once more, and neath my father's sheltering roof and near the old hall door. I watch this cloudy evening fall after a day of rain, blue mists, sweet mists of summer pall the horizon's mountain chain. The dam stands on the long green grass as thick as morning's tears, the dreamy scents of fragrance pass that breed of other years. Now, what is meant by these lines and what does the poet want to say? We will discuss about that. Mile the mist upon the hill. What is meaning of these things? What is the meaning of the word mist? Mist is a dewdrop that falls to the ground and covers the ground like a curtain. Mile the mist upon the hill, telling not of storms tomorrow. No, there will not be any storms tomorrow. And what indicates that there will not be any storms tomorrow? Because there are mists which are covering the mountain tops and the ground very slowly. No, the day has had her fill, sent its store of silent sorrow. The day has wept its fill. The day is here compared to a lady. It is like a lady who has cried the whole day and all her store of sorrows are over. So she will not cry again. The day is here also has its own store of sorrow that has been spent by the tears, that is the raindrops, and there will not be any rainfall the next day. So it is said, spent a store of silent sorrow. Oh, I'm gone back to the days of youth. I am a child once more. So the poet says that this scene of the mist covering the mountain tops very slowly, this scene is taking her back to the days of her youth, when she is no longer a grown woman, but just a mere child who is enjoying the sights and scenes of nature. And 'neath my father's sheltering roof and the father's centering roof, and below the old hall door. The child is imagining that she is standing beneath the old hall door of her father, and from the hall door she is watching the mountains being slowly covered with the dewdrops, the mists. I watch the cloudy evening fall after a day of rain. She is slowly watching the cloudy evening that is falling over the mountain, and it is just after a day of rain. And then she says, blue mist, sweet mist of summer pall, the horizon's mountain chain. What is the meaning of these two words, blue mist and sweet mist? The mist has no color, just because the sky is clear and the reflection of the sky has fallen onto the dewdrops. It is imagined that it is blue in color. And why is it sweet? Because these are the reflections of the sweetness of the poet's childhood. The poet would love to go back to her childhood, be a childhood once again, and only then she can get back the same wonder, the same enjoyment she had during the fall of this mist. And they are covering the sky. They are covering the whole sky, and from the sky they are coming down to the mountains, and on the horizon you can see on the screen the horizon's mountain chain. It is like a chain, and from that chain a scenery of amazement, a wonder is coming. The dam stands on the long green grass, as thick as morning's tears, and dreamy scents of fragrance pass that breathe of other years. The damp here is the thick drops of dews that have fallen on the long green grasses, and they are as thick as the morning tears. Why is it said that the morning is crying? Why is it morning's tears? Because the poet imagines that after a day of rain, the days or the morning's tears that are accumulated on the green grass. And it seems to the little child like the tears of the morning. And the dreamy sense of fragrance pass that breathe of other years. These all sceneries, all the pictures that come to the mind of the poet reminds her that it was a wonderful experience of her childhood. How she enjoyed. You can see in the screen that how the morning's tears have fallen on the long green grass. This is, and they are so thick and they look exactly like tears. And the fragrance that comes up after the rainfall. You all know that after the rainfall, a beautiful dreamy scent, it comes from the grass. It comes up from the ground. And this scent, this special different kind of smell that comes up from the green grass, that is a reminder of her past, of our own past. This scent, this fragrance, it takes us all back to our own childhoods. This type of poem is called a reflective poem. Why is it a reflective poem? Because it is rich with varied and powerful imagination. The poem itself is a very powerful portrayal of romanticism. That is why Emily Jane Bronte was considered one of the best poets of the Romantic age. Her poems, just like this, are full of imagination, and also they are full of calmness, peacefulness of mind. There is also a sense of sorrow. A sorrow, why? Why is there a sense of sorrow? Because the left childhood will not be regained again. What we have lost in our childhood, we will not get that back again. But we can now and then remind ourselves of the sights and sounds that we had enjoyed during our childhood. That is all we had in ourselves, and also that is all the poet had in her own heart. She had lived a very short life. She died only at the age of 30. And this poem was written only when she was 21 years of age. All her sisters, they were all famous literary persons. And most of them, they died very young, just like her. Now we will discuss about some literary devices used in the poem. What is a literary device? It is something that beautifies the poem. We will call them figures of speech. In this poem itself, we will discuss about what literary devices the poet has used to beautify her poem. First of all, it is personification. Now, what is personification? You will learn about all these figures of speech and literary devices in your higher classes. But from now, you must have some basic ideas about these literary devices which is used in all languages to enhance the beauty of a prose or a poetry. Now, what is personification? Personification is a figure of speech that is used when some human trait are given to some non-human objects. Here, what is said? It is said that the day has wept its fill and spent its store of silent sorrow. But a day is not a human being. It cannot cry, it cannot weep. But this human trait of crying and weeping and feeling sorrowful is put or given to a non-human object or noun. Here it is the day. So this is personification. There is also another literary device or figure of speech used in this poem. It is called alliteration. What is alliteration? Alliteration is a twist of a tongue, something which is told in a rhymic way. So it becomes very beautiful to hear. What it is said? Mild the mist upon the hill. Mild the mist. The word M is reiterated. It is alliteration. In your own mother tongue too, you will find many such alliteration, and in English too. In many nursery rhymes, You can come across these types of literary devices now and again. They are used to beautify the prose or the poetry. Now we will come to the structure of the poem. This poem is a ballad. What is a ballad? Ballad is something which has structures of 4 quatrains and it has a 16-line poem. It is written, this poem is ballad in form and it is written in iambic tetrameter with a rhyme scheme of AB, AB. And how do you decipher that what is a rhyme scheme? Rhyme scheme is, now look at the rhyme again, we will go back to the poem again and then we will see what is a rhyme. Look at the screen. Mild the mist upon the hill, telling not if of storms tomorrow. The last word is the rhyming word. And if we say that hill is A and then tomorrow is B, so we will see that again we will go to the poem and again we will see that the day has wept its fill, the third line, it is also A, and spent its store of silent sorrow, it is again B. So the rhyme scheme, this is called the rhyme scheme, and the rhyme scheme in this poem is AB, AB. And this is written in iambic trimeter. Now what is this iamb? Iamb is a short syllable followed by a long syllable. Now look at the first line of the poem. Mild the mist upon the hill. Look at the first line. Mild the mist upon the hill. There are 3 stresses. So it is trimeter. There are 3 meters here. And 1 short syllable is followed by 1 long syllable. This was first developed by Homer and it was considered to be a natural form of poetic verse. Now, from the first 4 lines, can you decipher or can you say how the stresses are given here? See, mild the mist upon the hill, telling not of storms tomorrow. No, the day has wept its fill, spent its store of silent sorrow. So each line is divided into 3 meters. This is called trimeter. And the whole thing can be said as iambic trimeter with a rhyme scheme of AB, AB. Now, from the screen, we will come across some questions and I will discuss these questions with you. Now, you will see some questions on the screen which are considered, which I have given as sample questions, some model questions from this poem, Mild the Mist upon the Hill. Usually, 3 or 4 types of questions can come from this text. The first is a MCQ type question or the multiple choice question. Here, 2 or 3 examples are given on the screen. You are required to go through them and if possible, you will do the answers and show to your subject teacher in your school. The question number 1 is, according to the poet, how will be the next day? Will it be stormy? Will it be clear? Will it be cloudy? Or will it be raining? We all know the answer. The next day will be clear. The opposite of the word neath. What is the meaning of the word neath? Neath means beneath. So what will be the opposite of beneath? Will it be below or will it be over or above or under? You are required to do it yourself. Now number 2 is SAQ type question or the short answer type questions. Before answering these questions, you must remember that when you are giving answers to poetry, never use the lines from the poetry. If you use the lines from the poetry itself, your numbers will be deducted. See the question number 1. Fill in the blanks with information from the text. The misty mountains remind the poet of what? Whatever will be the answer, you have to write in simple English language. Remember to keep the language simple and make no grammatical mistake, because numbers can be deducted for grammatical mistakes. Number B, the mists tell the poet that. What does the mist tell the poet? That there will be no storms tomorrow. But if you write it, telling not of storms tomorrow, taking from the line of the poem, your marks will be totally deducted. The same will be applied to the short answers given on the screen. Answer the following questions within 25 words. What does the poet mean when she says, the day has had her fill? You have to write the answer in your own words, not from the book. And the last question, where does the poet see herself when she thinks of her childhood? You will write like this, the poet sees herself beneath her father's sheltering roof in her father's old hall. You have to just write it in this way. And remember again, never use the lines from the book. It is time to end up, and I will end by giving a summary of the poem. The summary of the poem is given on the screen. It is evening time. The mountains that surround the valley are now covered with thin blue mists. It has been raining all day. The mists imply that the next day will be clear and bright. The mists fall on the long green grass and gives us an image of teardrops. The whole picture makes the poet nostalgic. Here a new word is used, nostalgic. Nostalgic means a feeling that reminds a person of a long past, of childhood, of adulthood, of here it is reminding the lady of her own childhood, of her own girlhood. The cloudy evening and the fragrance of damp grass takes her back to her childhood, where she sees herself standing at the old hall door of her father's house. Here the whole summary is given, and you can use these lines to answer any SAQ type questions that is given in your books. Also, you can answer any questions given by your school teacher. So that is all for today. I hope you have understood the poem well and you will be able to write the answers given on the screen. Thank you very much and hope to see you again very soon. Goodbye.